What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video reviewing Ubuntu Deepin Desktop Edition. So, as I stated in the intro of the video, I want to go on and show you guys Ubuntu Deepin Desktop Edition. And they just recently released a newer version. It's 20.10. I believe they had a beta out not that long ago, and they released this actually about 10 days ago. And I just wanted to do a quick review, just showing you guys the Ubuntu version of the Deepin Desktop, their edition of Ubuntu. So let me go to their website and just read a little bit about it, as well as show you where to download the actual ISO so we can go through the install and actually review the desktop. So let's get started. Okay, cool. So I have the Deepin Desktop edition of Ubuntu. Pages up is actually UbuntuDDE.com. And actually I'm on the blog page, but this is what the main page looks like. It says a powerful Ubuntu with the most beautiful desktop environment. And to be honest, I somewhat agree, because the Deepin Desktop is a very attractive desktop environment that I think a lot of you guys should try out. It's very user friendly, and a lot of the applications are built from the ground up by the Deepin team that has a new design, and it brings a new spin to Ubuntu. So let's go on and read a little bit about Deepin Desktop, or Ubuntu Deepin Desktop Edition. It says powerful Ubuntu with the oh yeah, I just read that. But anyway, here's an introduction. It says Ubuntu Deepin Desktop Edition is a remix flavor of Ubuntu system with the Deepin Desktop environment. UbuntuDDE is a Linux distribution based on Ubuntu with the most powerful desktop environment. And one cool thing about this distribution, the Deepin Desktop, or Deepin, has their own distribution, but it is actually managed in Asia, somewhere in Asia, China, I believe, to be more specific. So what happened was a lot of people don't trust that distribution because they think it may be sending things back to China, which I haven't seen any, articles or anything dealing with the Deepin Desktop where they are sending or collecting data, and sending it back to China. So someone came up with the idea to just take Ubuntu as the base and put the Deepin Desktop environment on top of it and release a distribution. So that's where this flavor of Ubuntu came about. So let's see what it says. Its initial release, Ubuntu DDE Remix 20.04, focal based on Ubuntu 20.04 LTS, and will be supported by the Deepin Desktop community. And just to show you a little bit, I wanted to go to the blog. This would prompt me to actually do a review of this actual distribution. I seen a blog post come out a while back. I can't remember when I actually seen it. I get it in an email. Let's open up this actual article right fast. But basically what I wanted to show you guys was Ubuntu Deepin Desktop, it released Groovy Gorilla. And these are the release notes for this new release, which is basically Ubuntu 20.10. And if we read a little bit, it says, hello community. First, on behalf of the team, they are probably proud to release the newest version of it, and I'm not gonna read too much on it. And actually, let's scroll down a little bit. I wanted to kind of show you the key features of Ubuntu Desktop Edition. Basically, the features that comes out on this release. It says Ubuntu 20.10 Groovy base system. I know one thing about it. It actually supports the new kernel. So Linux kernel. It comes with Linux kernel 5.8.0, which is the latest version of the Linux kernel. And then also, it's just a lot of updates as well as bug fixes. and it was something new I wanted to show you guys. It says new native applications pre-installed, including Deepin Music, Device Manager, Deepin Movies, Image Viewer, Bootmaker, System Monitor, Deepin Calculator, which I remember installing Deepin Desktop and it came with a lot of these applications. I'm assuming they're a little bit improved and they have the latest release of those actual applications on its desktop by default. And it also comes with Firefox and LibreOffice and pretty much all the latest Ubuntu based packages pre-installed. And I believe they came up, and they came out with some new wallpapers and some assets or whatever, meaning icons and all that good stuff. Should be something new in there. And then as well as Snap plugin for the Software Center pre-installed, which I believe that was in the last version, depending on which one you looked at. But here are the bug fixes. They added open as administrator on the right click, refresh button on right click, and they fixed a couple things. It says Wi-Fi networks not showing nearest AP, black shadow frame across the windows. So if you have been using Deepin Desktop, you'll know what these fixes are for. But they're pretty much bugs that have been reported to the Deepin Desktop environment to improve and fix the desktop. So now that I did that, let me just go down and show you guys how to download it. And basically all you have to do is hit the download button, and I already have it open right here. That'll bring you to this page and you can go through and download it. They have a couple different ways you could download it. This is the latest version, 20.10, Groovy Gorilla official release. I typically just click on the mirrors and then you can download the ISO from here. So this is the full ISO right here, and as you can see, it was released 28th of October 2020, so about 10 days ago. So I'm a little behind on this one, but whatever. I just wanted to still show you guys the actual desktop, the actual distribution. So I already have the ISO downloaded, so let me go ahead on and open up VirtualBox and start working on the install. So let's get started on that. Okay, cool. So here is Ubuntu. It's basically gonna follow the same way that regular Ubuntu works. It checks the ISO just to make sure it has no errors or anything like that, which I'm just connecting the virtual machine to the ISO, or adding the ISO to the virtual machine, so it hasn't had any changes to it, or it's not messed up. I didn't have to write it to a USB. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But it's basically gonna check it or whatever, and then we should be booted up into the live desktop environment. So let's give it a couple seconds. Here we go. We should be booting up in a second. Yeah, and I'm kind of excited to actually see what this looks like. This seems like it'll be a cool addition, because I've never looked at Ubuntu's desktop or Deepin Desktop Edition. I never even installed Deepin Desktop on top of Ubuntu, because you can actually take Ubuntu distribution, no matter what it is, and then install the Deepin Desktop environment on top of it. And then when you get to the login screen or the desktop manager screen, then you can select the Deepin Desktop and boot up into that actual desktop environment, no matter what distribution it is. You know what I'm saying? You can even install Deepin Desktop environment on Arch Linux. You know what I'm saying? It may not come with all the packages. I'm pretty sure it won't come with all the packages. It'll come with most of the Deepin applications, but not everything. So here we go. It says the friendly reminder. Let's see, we could turn on. Oh, it detects, that we're using a virtual machine. I'm gonna use effects mode. That way it shows, all the effects. I got enough memory assigned to it, so shouldn't have any issues seeing it or looking at it. So now cool. Let's go down and fix the display. And I apologize. I need to find a quicker way to actually do this. Somebody recommend something I should do, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet, or I haven't played around with it yet enough to fix it. But that's basically how you install. It has an installer on the desktop, or a link to start the script on the desktop, And let's go on and go through the install. And this should look familiar when I installed the Deepin Desktop before, just by itself. So American English, it automatically looks and finds that I'm in Los Angeles area or time zone. So we can hit next there. And then my keyboard, it automatically recognizes I'm using US. And then what I want to do is select erase this. Since I have a 40 gigabyte hard drive for this install, so I'm gonna just hit erase this and install everything there. Or you can go in and manually partition things, but if you're just testing it out, I would just recommend you just hit select the erase disk, especially if it's like a blank disk. But just be very careful, you don't want to mess up and wipe a drive that you don't want to wipe. But if you're doing this in VirtualBox, it's all contained within that virtual machine, so most likely you created a new hard drive for it, or a new virtual hard drive for it. So let's hit next here, and then let's create our user account. I always create Josh, and then let's just type deep 20, and I'm make it 20.10. well, I just put 20, that's fine. And then let's put a password on it, super strong password, should be good. And I always recommend don't click this button, log in automatically without asking for the password. You always want to have a password on your stuff, so you guys should know that. If you watch my videos before, you know that. But this is the summary, so it's just everything we told it to do during the install. So now it'll go through that process. So, and what I'll do on this one, and you guys let me know if you don't mind. I mean, some people like to see the full install, but I'm gonna just come back when the actual install completes. I'm gonna start it right fast, let it go, and then I'll pause the video and just come back when it finishes, so you guys don't have to sit here and wait for this to go all the way through. So I'll be back in a little bit, or actually in a second. Okay, so the distribution has finished installing. Now I'm gonna go down and reboot the system. Like I said, if you guys want to see the full install, I mean, all it's doing is showing that bar go across until it gets to 100%, and that's why I figured I would take that out of this video, because it seems like it kind of makes people go on to like another video and don't finish watching the review. So I figured I would take it out and just skip past it, so it'll save some time in the video. But anyway, it's finished. So like I said, I'm gonna reboot the system, and now it's installed. So let's just give it a couple of seconds for it to reboot back up. And right here is just asking you to remove the media, just like all Linux distributions or Ubuntu. Every time I've seen an install from Ubuntu, it always removes the media automatically for you, but it wants you to push enter. Okay, so here is the greeter for the Ubuntu Deepin Desktop Edition. Let's go down and log into it now so you guys can see what the system comes with. And it shouldn't take too long to come up. And also, this is a friendly reminder. It'll pop up with this when you have it installed on a virtual machine. It automatically detects it, just like before with the installer. It detects that it's installed on a virtual machine, and so the effects mode is not supported for VirtualBox. So you may run into a few issues, but if you install this on a regular system, you shouldn't see those same issues, or you shouldn't even see that pop-up at all. Okay, cool. So the desktop is up. Now let's go down and fix the display. Again, like I said, I want to fix this or figure out a way to get this to show up properly, so I don't have to go in and do this every single time, because I know it kind of slows down the review process in the video, but whatever. So pretty much this is the desktop. This is what you'll be greeted with. I'm not sure if a pop-up will jump up. That may only be for the Deepin distribution, where it has a pop-up and goes through setting up the changes on the desktop. Since this is a Ubuntu edition, then it probably doesn't have that included. But this is basically what you're greeted with, and we'll just quickly skim through everything on the taskbar down here at the bottom. But this is the recycle bin, you know, power button. This will allow you to restart the system, shut it down, you know, suspend, lock, and all that good stuff. So and actually let's press the escape button so we can get out of that. And here we go with a calendar, and it's actually running updates, or it's trying to run updates. So it has a alert right now since we just installed it. Like I said, this distribution was released what, like 8 days ago. So it most likely has a couple of updates that need to be installed, but we won't go through it. But this is that Deepin calendar, and you can click on it or whatever, and it'll open it up right there. Then also you can go into the time settings. You can modify time settings and all that good stuff, as well as you can change it to 12-hour time versus the 24-hour time, like military time. You can change it. And this right here, I can't remember what this one is. Onboard keyboard. So that's basically what that is. So if you had like a touchscreen or something, if you had this installed on like a touchscreen, that'll be a, you know, a cool way of actually typing on the screen if you need to. You can minimize everything right here, but this is just your main options that you would see on the taskbar, like your battery settings, your network settings, and then your volume control. And then this is your language, I believe. I think, or this may be that hold on, emoji choice. I don't know what this is. Hold on one second. iBus preferences. Okay. All right. So that deals with the input. So if you wanted to have like a different language or multiple languages on here, but English is default. And one thing I said when I installed the Deepin Desktop previously, I was talking about how you can minimize this, which is pretty cool. I see that. I mean, not really minimize it, but you can squeeze it all together and hide it so you don't have to, you know, kind of see all those options taking up space on the taskbar. Now, this already popped up with some updates, and we'll hit remind later. I'm not gonna go through any updates on this review, but that'll basically check and see if you have any updates for the system. Now here's the control center, and I think I showed this when I went through the Deepin Desktop, but it's pretty much where you can go through and modify all the settings on the system. Pretty much you can get into pretty much anything from here. You can click on general settings, and that'll open up even more, you know what I'm saying? So you got your accounts, display, default applications. Really reminds me of the GNOME or XFCE. You know, when you go into the settings, you can go through and select, you know, whatever you're trying to change, and go through and modify it from here. But you guys already know I like the dork theme, so this is some under the personalization. You can go through and select the dork theme. You can change the color variants of like how this is highlighted right here. You can change that to gray. It'll change it to gray, but that blue looks pretty cool, so I like that. And then you can go through, you know, this the window effects. You can turn that on. Icon theme, so you can go through. They already have some pre-installed ones. Let's see if they have one of the ones I like. I like this Ubuntu Mono Dark, which is pretty cool. So you can check that one out if you want to, or check out, you know, different ones. Just check them out for yourself. Let's try this light one. I never played around with this one. That one looks kind of cool too. Oh, Papyrus Dark. I actually like that one. That's one of the ones I like, that I actually use on my system currently. But anyway, that's pretty cool. You know, you can go through and personalize the system. You know, you got your network settings, notifications, sound, date, time, power, mouse, you know, system information. Let's go here and let's see if it'll show the kernel. Yeah, and there we go. That's what I wanted to show you guys. The kernel is using by default the latest kernel, and 64-bit obviously, and then 20.10 Ubuntu. So, and here is the licensing, so we're not gonna play around with that. But general settings, this is the boot menu, so you can modify that. You can go change the startup, you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff. But that's pretty much it. You can go to all those same settings by just clicking on the main icon from the main page. And you can also change the settings of this. I can't remember how to do it, but I know you can go through and change it. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show you there. So that's the settings. Then you have a calendar right here again, so that'll open up that same actual calendar, but you can obviously remove some of this stuff. You can undock it, like if you want something different there, like your mail or something to show up there, that'll be, you know, something you can switch out. But then this is the Deepin music, Deepin photos, your album, you know, picture albums, you know, all that good stuff. This the file manager, and just to show you what it is, it's actually, you know, just file manager. And let's go down and close that. And then this right here, or actually, you know, change it to multitasking view. So if you have like multiple things open, you can look at the, you know, multiple desktops, you know, all that good stuff. You switch through them. And just to show you how that works, if you didn't see my other video on this, I'm gonna open up 2 different applications. And then if we click here, that'll kind of, you know, allow you to go through whichever one, bring whichever one you want to the front. It's kind of like an alt tab, but I mean, it's quicker. It's obviously quicker to do it on a keyboard, you know, just hitting the alt tab. But anyway, that's just an option for you. And then the show desktop, so all those applications we had open, you know, you just hit show desktop, that'll minimize it. Cool. And that's pretty much it for the taskbar, except for the start menu. So you can get back into your settings there. That's your power settings there again. Here is the download. So these are links to your directories within your file explorer. So downloads folder, videos, music, pictures, you know, documents folder, and the computer folder, which is that same file explorer that we popped up, you know, earlier. And one thing I said in the last video, I really enjoyed how they designed this, you know what I'm saying, kind of gives you that Windows feel, where when you click on like my computer or computer, it'll bring up the actual drives. It'll list the drives below that are connected to the system. So that's one cool thing about it, you know what I'm saying, that I really like about it. So that's pretty much it there. And then if we go down through here, we could kind of look at all the applications. I don't want to go too deep. A lot of these applications, you know, you most likely know, if you've been watching my videos and my channel for a while, you kind of know what a lot of these applications are and what they do. But I'll go through a few of them. But that's the file explorer. One thing that's cool that I like is Thunderbird installed by default. And actually, let's open up the terminal as well. But let's go back in here, and that's the Deepin terminal, so that's installed as well. But like I said, I really like to see Thunderbird installed, because I think that's like one of the best, you know, mail readers that are out there, because I'm a fan of XFCE, and you know, GNOME comes with Thunderbird. Not Thunderbird, it comes with Evolution, which I really don't like, but I mean, it's cool too. But Thunderbird, I think, is better because you have more customization to it. And also, Thunderbird is created by the same people that created Firefox, which I'm a fan of that browser as well. But if we scroll down a little further, let's go. I wanted to show you that Firefox is installed. So, you know, that's there. And we can open that up. And it should be the latest version of Firefox. And it actually comes with Firefox 81.02, so that's what should be installed on here. And that's cool that the first thing that pops up is actually Ubuntu Deepin Desktop blog page. So you can obviously change that, but it, you know, that's what it comes with. So let's go down and close that. Cool. And I always run uname, but I already showed you the kernel that it's using. So Linux Deep 20 is using a 5.8.025 kernel. As you see, October 15th, which was when that kernel was released, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, this is the Deepin terminal, so you should be good. It comes with version 5.2.11. So cool. Let's go down and close that, and let's just look at what else is on here. So one cool thing, LibreOffice. I like to see the whole LibreOffice suite, so that's a good thing, you know what I'm saying. And as well as the Synaptic Package Manager, which is my preferred package manager. And of course, it's gonna ask you for your password when you first open it up, because it needs to authenticate you. Just hit confirm. There you go, and we can close that. But this is a quick introduction. You don't have to show that dialog ever again if you don't want to. But this is a cool way of installing applications on the system. You can go through, it's broken out by categories, but you can install, you know, all your packages from here, you know, libraries, all that good stuff. Everything is here in Synaptic Package Manager. And like I said, it uses the Ubuntu repositories, so you should be good to go. You don't have to worry about the software that's installed there. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you guys, pretty sure you can go to, and I apologize, I went to the wrong one, but they do have like a little software center. But this is the settings for the software center, or softwares and updates. It'll go through and sorry about that, but it will go through and allow you to make changes to how you get updates. You can add PPAs, you know, all that good stuff. But we're not gonna play around with that. But this is the software center, so if you like a very GUI, pretty looking software center, then you can use this, obviously. And this will install the packages as well, just the same. You can get in here, you can get snap packages, all that good stuff. So one thing, you know, that I saw that was a little bit different, but yeah, you can go down here to the bottom where they have category, and you could pull up the different, you know, pieces of software. And this thing is really pulling a lot of images from the web. That's why it takes a little while to, you know, kind of pop up. But once it's cached, it's cached. But you can get all the little applications that you use. Like I always use VLC, pulse audio, you know, if you need that, handbrake, in case you need that for video editing a little bit. And then Audacity, you know, you can add all your typical applications. OBS Studio, that's cool that it's in a repository. And so that's a way for you to actually update your system as well as install applications. Like right here is telling you that there is an update and it requires a restart. So OS updates includes performance, stability, and security improvements, as well as Firefox. And I like to turn off that automatic updates because I like to update my stuff when I want to update it. I don't want it to, you know, constantly bug me on that updates are, you know, needed for the system. That's one of the reasons I use Orch, you know, and I use LXCD, XFCE, so I don't have to kind of worry about that. And then plus I don't have a lot of it turned on, so because they do have notifications, but I have a lot of it turned off. But that's pretty much it on the Deepin Desktop. I didn't want to, you know, go too deep within the system. But yeah, you can obviously change the, you know, wallpapers and all that stuff. So, but that's cool. You can, you know, modify the desktop or the actual background images right there. Display settings, I showed you guys that. I had to, you know, fix the screen multiple times, but yeah, they got some pretty cool backgrounds for the system, so, or wallpapers. So yeah, so anyway, check out Deepin Desktop. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a very stable, you know, especially using Ubuntu, you know it's stable, but it's a very, you know, cool desktop environment. And this is a way to actually install the desktop without actually trying to install it on your own. You can just reinstall your operating system, and there you go, you got the Deepin Desktop on top of Ubuntu. So check it out for yourself. I hope this review helps somebody. If you got any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below, and of course, keep it techie.